Today we're looking at the battle bracers, and they are some of the best equipment for solo players out there for a number of reasons, but mostly it is on three things. One, mobility. This build's mobility is out of this world. You can run away, paired with the right armor, helm and shoes, you are nigh on unkillable. Secondly, it does a lot of damage. Just using its E can deal tremendous amount of DPS really quickly, and this is extremely important, especially with your mobility. You're gonna hit them and run, hit them and run. Finally, it is decent at clearing mob camps in mists. It's very good in mists in general, which let's look at some of the items and the abilities. Obviously, battle bracers are your main weapon of choice. Now, what's important to note, the abilities of the battle bracers at higher levels can be changed and swapped out according to the enemy you're fighting. These are PvP weapons more than PvE, but they do very well in PvE. I'd like to go with the Dragon Leap, with triple kick. Obviously your Falcon Smash is your main source of damage, and then I take Hard to Catch, which gives you that crowd control resistance and damage resistances that will allow you to run away and stay alive. What do these abilities do? Your Q is essentially a mobility. You dash forward and kick all enemies in the radius, dealing a nice amount of damage. Then you get second activation, where you can go back and does a very good interrupt where you throw everyone in the air. Second ability is triple kick, where it deals a number of damage according if it's mobs or players for 3 times, pulling the first enemy player that you meet along with you, allowing you to split the enemies apart. Finally, you have Falcon Smash. When you cast it, you go up into the air and then you have to cast it again to dive. If you dive within 4 meters of yourself, your initial location, you deal a high amount of damage. If you dive from 4 to 6 meters, it's significantly lower. Be very careful how to use this. You can use this to run away, you can use this to, or simply deal a lot of damage once you're on the enemy. With regards to Hard to Catch, as I said, it reduces your crowd resistance and increases your damage resistance. For helmet, I go with Cultist Cowl. You can go with Fiend Cowl as well, but this is more noob friendly. It helps you clean out camps faster and deal with certain enemies, especially longer ranged enemies, easier due to the inner corruption, which does a lot of damage based on the amount of times they hit you, or if it's a mob, it just does a flat 1000 magical damage. Then aggression for the buff to healing and damage. Ambush for your Assassin's Jacket, as well as Balanced Mind. Ambush is going to be really useful as it will buff your Falcon Smash even more so. Above and beyond this, the Assassin's Jacket is really cheap, so it's very good to have. And since this is a PvP build, you need to be ready to lose. Then go with Scholar Sandals, as I like them quite a bit. You can go with any other sandals, because essentially all I do is I go Energetic Sprint and Aggression. I find Scholar Sandals to also be useful sometimes for Focused Run, where you just want to run away. With regards to Cape, this is really important. You get the Undead Cape. Over here, since I have a 6.1 build, I went with a 4.3 cape, which is quite good. It's quite balanced. You don't need anything higher than this, really and truly, unless you're going with an 8.3 build, and then you get 7.3 on that cape, as that's the best there is. With regards to food, Catfish is going to be your best friend. You're going to be running around, fighting a lot of people, fighting a lot of mobs, and Catfish is going to be your best hope, as this will give you a lot of health regen in between fights, and that health regen is really important. That said, I sometimes use the Red Eel Stew level 2 enchanted twice. This allows you to have damage increase and cooldown reductions. This is if I'm going against a really strong opponent and I really need that little bit extra push. With regards to potions, Invisibility Potion is your best bet here. As I'm saying this, Invisibility Potion will save your ass many times over. And this, combined with your Assassin's Jacket with Ambush and combined with your Undead Cape, will give you a lot of escape mechanics. When it comes to your rotation, you want to be using your Q, your W, and your E as whenever you have them. With regards to your Q, I really recommend waiting before casting it twice, as the first one, it comes back relatively quick in terms of cooldown, whereas when you cast the second one, it makes the entire thing slow down. And also, the animation for the second one slows you down, whereas the first animation is gonna help you run quite fast. Now, when it comes to PvP, over here I'm going to show you some examples. Try to always hit and run, hit and run, hit and run. If you have enemies that kite you, they are your worst enemies. They are going to really hurt. So I'm talking about magic staffs and bows. They are you're going to struggle with. But at the same time, you're also going to do great versus groups of enemies, as you're going to jump into the middle of them and start smashing. When you're fighting groups of enemies, it's a good idea to have force field on you as your ability for your cowl, as when you jump into the middle of them, you want to spread them away from you as much as possible, cause as much discontent and damage as possible. Hope you find this build useful. It is very good in the mists. It's very good in open world. You're going to be able to farm mobs at the same time. You're going to be able to gank people. Solo ganking is very, very doable with this. And you're going to be able to get some really cool results, such as this guy who almost killed me, but then I got him after I found him weakened, just as he had found me. Guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what build you would like to see next. Bye bye.